first question. How do you pronounce your name? I don't want to butcher it.
So my name is Swan I.
Okay.
That's why I have it phonetically written in my Instagram as Swan, like a bird eye, but I go by Swan.
My name is Paula, so I've been covering like the Miami scene, and within the Miami scene, I've discovered your page. And tell us a little bit about yourself to somebody who's never, been on your page.
So my page is a mix of my like social life and my food life. So I have a lot of friends who are in like the queer party scene.
Okay.
So I love to support them. I feel like the vibes are always better. The music's always better. Obviously most of my friends are queer, so like hanging out with them and myself being queer as well. But then I also love doing food documentation, food photography, food content. I love going out to eat with my friends or even by myself. I'm not one of those people that like can't go out to eat on their own. Like I love to go eat on my own. Really like soak in the experience. I'm always one to be like, my phone will eat first. I'm gonna take a picture of the food no matter who I'm with. So that's what you'll find on my page. And then on Underbelly's page, you'll see more focused on like Miami food culture, but from different people's perspective, not just mine. So Miami locals, like, Miami is so filled with different kinds of people, different kinds of cultures. So it's nice to see like different perspectives. You also see like past events that I've done, flyers that I've done, and a couple of like sneak peeks or like behind the scenes from things that I've had in the magazine.
So speaking of food, we have a really nice spread. We show what we have. I went with your recommendation. So like if you want, you could tell like the people what you DM'd me to getting first the place.
Yes. So this is from one of my favorite Mexican restaurants in Miami. It just happened to be close to you, which I thought was super great. My favorite things that I love to get is the quesadilla.
Here, let me show it.
Yes.
So it's nice and warm. Here's the quesadilla. So you told me 2 types of quesadilla, right? Like I think it was the carne.
Carne and maybe chicken?
I think so, yes.
I don't remember. The tacos, I like lengua. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the other one I recommended was.
I think it was it maybe al pastor, if I'm not mistaken?
Al pastor sounds about right.
Yes.
Yeah. Lengua is like not something you typically see in like Mexican restaurants in Miami because there's not a lot of like traditional Mexican restaurants unless you come down to Homestead, which is where a lot of the Mexican places are. And I just love the way that they cook it. It's so perfectly yummy. And then this one I think is lengua too.
Yes,
okay.
I also asked them for the not just carne but their other assortment. So.
And then we got the Flor de Jamaica, Agua de Jamaica classic drink.
And in the middle, we have the ceviche mixto.
I forgot about that one.
So, it was very refrigerated. Whoa. That's why the avocado is a little like this. But either way, it's delicious.
It's so good.
So, we have a whole spread that we're going to be enjoying. And also, like, digging in deep into the topics that involve, like, your page, Underbelly's page, and, So, I'm going to bring 2 plates of something I missed. So I haven't been to this place before, so I'm excited to try it. Because the place was packed when I went. Like, it was, like, busy.
Whoa. Good for them.
Wow. Tastes delicious.
Right? Good for them. They deserve it.
All right. So I'm going to dig into one of these tacos. I'm also going to walk around my place.
I got you.
Of course, you can never forget the tacos without the cilantro and the onions and a little bit of lemon.
I'm like,
lime.
I forgot it.
No, you're good.
Thank you for reminding us.
Yes. I'm going to do a little scoop.
It's so good.
So we've planned out this podcast episode like a while back. That's how I love to do these things. Like when I did Sojo's Dojo, like I was like, oh, when is the best time to come? And I loved that planning aspect for it. So this is like really awesome because, really we could come together and like talk about like many different things and enjoy food. So I'm going to take one of these if you would like.
Please.
Here you go. My hands are clean. I did wash them.
I washed mine too. Don't worry.
And then
So
we
good.
have the salsas in the middle, so
Yes.
they're different types.
I just opened up. I don't know what they are.
That's okay.
But
me neither.
This one was really good. This green one, a little spicy. I don't really have spicy food too much.
Okay.
Cubans don't eat spicy food. I don't know if in your
Yeah.
culture they do eat spicy food, but like sometimes I put like a little bit too much black pepper in the food. My mom's like, está picante. And I
Está
was like,
picante.
it's black pepper. So I didn't really grow up eating spicy food. So I never got like used to it.
I love spicy food. I could go like super big. Like I'm from an Ecuadorian culture, and like ceviche can be a little spicy, but I think it's just growing up in Miami. I just had the really spicy stuff. Like I could go for like Haitian spicy. You know?
I can't, and I love it, and I'll suffer. I will suffer to eat it. But yeah, it's not something that I'm definitely used to. I like a mild spice.
That's a good bite.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. So, I have my questions. And we started with the who are you? So we can go into like deeper in that. So this journey within food, the way your life, how did it all begin?
My passion for food.
Mm-hmm.
So, I grew up watching Food Network.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so cool to see Food Network because I was seeing food that I had never seen before. And also, like, my family never really, like, invited me into the kitchen too much. Because being in the kitchen, like, cooking was, like, a chore. It's kind of like laundry. It wasn't, like, something like, oh, come, let me show you my passion. Like, no. My mom and my maternal grandmother, who I grew up with, like, hated cooking. They still do. They still did. So, I was watching Food Network, and I was just so obsessed. Seeing how they were, like, having so much fun with it. Seeing foods, again, like, I had never seen before. And then I started noticing that my friends were also interested in, like, just junk food, you know what I mean? Like, pizza and stuff like that. So we would, like, go and we would, like, hang out over food. And it was such a nice experience that I kind of became, like, a little addicted to, like, going out to eat with my friends or, like, eating, like, you know, with things that we weren't used to eating when we were growing up, which was all, like, chucheria. And also growing up in the 90s, food was really weird. Like, food commercials were really cool. Like, there was, like, blue ketchup and, like, just really, like, really weird stuff. So, like, I loved food commercials. And then I got my first cookbook. I think I was in high school. I got my first cookbook, which I still have. And I did, like, a little dinner party with my friends where I made gnocchi and chicken saltimbocca, which is, like, chicken with, like, wrapped in, like, prosciutto or something like that. And it was so fun. We recorded it. I have no idea where that video is. But it was so fun to, like, cook for my friends and cook something from my cookbook and also, like, cook things for my family that they had never had before. Because my family never traveled. They went from Cuba to here, called it a day. Like, they never really traveled anywhere else. So it was so cool to, like, show my family, like, Asian food that wasn't just, like, Chinese takeout or, like, different kinds of Italian food that wasn't just, like, sauce from the jar and, like, a box of pasta. Which I still love anyway. But yeah, I would say that's how it started, like, just cooking for my friends and family and also eating with them. Different things that I wasn't, like, accustomed to.
That's such a, like, an amazing background of, like, both the Food Network and then the connection with a cookbook, and then it started that passion. You involved your friends, and then from there, like, how did it keep going? Like, so your friends are like, okay, like, you really got this. You're taking us to these different places to eat. You know, how did it keep going? Like, what was the more of the inspo?
Well, everyone's like, wow, I love your desserts specifically. And I started selling it in high school. I used to sell brownies. I used to sell cake pops.
Oh, wow.
And everyone, like, started liking it even more and more. So I was like, oh, I'm getting a little business kick from people. Like, I can make money off of this.
Oh, wow.
I never got into, like, the restaurant industry or anything like that. But being encouraged by my friends and family to, like, keep cooking and hearing their feedback and stuff like that was so encouraging. So, yeah, from there, I started, like, researching restaurants, like, just, like, reading different blogs or, like, seeing, like, different, like, newspapers saying like, oh, this restaurant just opened up new, or like seeing where the celebrity chefs were wanting to go, seeing things like diners, drive-ins, and dives, where he's going to like little mom and pop shops, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, like talking to them. So I was like, I want to see like what restaurants are popping up in Miami around me. And I started just researching, like looking at reviews, looking at Yelp, because back then there wasn't like many like listicles or like guides. Like it was just very like Yelp reviews and like what celebrity chefs where they would go. So I would go on Yelp a lot, and like, you know, the more that I would like eat food and try different things, I would see like, oh, this is how they do it here, this is how you should be doing it, and like researching all of that. And then when I started giving recommendations to my friends and the recommendations were good, it encouraged me even more to be like, oh, okay, like maybe I do know what I'm talking about a little bit. And then I watched, I don't know if you've seen it, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat on Netflix.
I need to see it. Okay.
Really good. Add it to your list, because that was like one of the things that like encouraged me to like cook without a recipe, like be able to like have like the confidence to like know like how things should be cooked like on a more molecular level, but it's very accessible the way that it's written. There's a lot of drawings, a lot of charts. It tells you like how to combine flavors and stuff like that. And when I watch the show, it's divided by like this episode's salt, this episode's fat, this episode's like that. So she would go to like, for example, the salt, when she would go to Japan, and like she would see like how they make soy sauce. Like apparently the soy sauce here is not anything like how the soy sauce in Japan. Yeah. So all of that started encouraging me even more. And it's just been a spiral ever since.
Okay. I'll let you take a bite.
I'm like, this quesadilla is like one of my favorite quesadillas ever.
I can literally tell that, because I was like, wow, it's so like soft, it's so like chewy,
so flavorful.
Yes, it's like the right amount. Like I don't think I could have another quesadilla from any other place. Definitely that vibe is what I get from Underbelly. So I'll tell you, so you get a turn to actually eat the food before it gets cold.
Tell me.
So how did I discover Underbelly? Like, that's like the fun part. So there, within my journey of finding out about different things in Miami, I went to like this event called Comedor Azul. And in Comedor Azul, everybody just brings their own dishes. And it was really special because in a way it was also like art curated, because like, you know, food is art, right? And so everybody brought their dish, and it was really special because there was somebody there from Ecuador, and he brought ceviche. And I was like, oh my god, like that's so rare. Like Ecuadorians in Miami can never find ceviche. Like, prove me wrong. If you could prove me wrong, honestly, you would have so many people going to that place. So it's very rare to find that specifically. And so there, you were speaking, and so you brought up Underbelly. And I was like, hold on a minute. There's an underground magazine for food in Miami. I need to find this. So I went through your Instagram. I went to the Underbelly's Instagram. And I was like, how can I do some sort of collaboration? Some sort of something to like really, you know, get in touch with this community, because that's so cool. Like, of course, there's the big names. You know, we could sit here all day and talk about the big names. But it's just, that is like super special, because the big names are just realizing about one of the names here. Like, one of them is the Babes, what is it called? Like, meat counter, right?
Babes, meat counter, yeah.
And I was like, come on. Nobody knows about that place? Like, that place is like OG, and the big names are just starting to cover it. Which, you know, it's great to bring business to a small business. But also, it's like, it's always been there. Like, you just need to know. And so that's what I love Underbelly. Like, it's like, you know, talking about that, but other life experiences relating to food, relating to culture, relating to beyond. And actually, that could actually tie in to how did, like, the origins of Underbelly. So we talked about, like, yourself, your passions. But what really made you say, no, this is what Miami needs?
Well, I felt like Miami was just, every time I would look for, like, Miami food content, it was always a review or a list.
Right.
Which, you know, I need those, you know, every now and then. But, how you said, food is art. And not only is food art, food is community. Food is passion. Food is family, you know, like, food is history. And I feel like we're kind of missing that aspect of things. Like, it was very superficial. So it's like, you see a video, you're at this restaurant, the food looks good.
Right.
The influencer's like, hey, yeah, like, come on by. It's so good. And then peace out. And it's like, wait, but like, who's cooking the food? Like, how long have they been around? Like, what's their story? Like, what's the story about the food? I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Or not even like, it doesn't have to even just be from a historical standpoint, but I'm like, where are like the cool like illustrations of different restaurants? Like West of Chester does amazing illustrations.
Yes, I was about to say illustrations that.
But that's a new thing too. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like now there's like a resurgence of people wanting to honor Miami culture in different ways, and like specifically with food. I felt like in other cities I would see a lot of like beautiful poetry, a lot of beautiful content where we do hear about these people's stories, or even like, it doesn't always have to be heartfelt. Like, sometimes I just want to see something like different, funny, silly, like something that's just like genuine and authentic. When I was searching for those, I was coming up empty, or I was seeing them from other places. And I'm like, I want to see that here, because when people think of Miami, they just think croquetas, Cuban sandwich, and la colada. And it's like, wait, but there's a lot of rich culture here. There's Haitian culture.
100%.
There's Venezuelan culture. There's a lot of different cultures here, you know? So for Miami to just be all encompassed into just Cuban culture, and I'm Cuban, but like, it's like, there's other stuff here. So I felt like there was just a lot of things missing. And I also noticed that a lot of my friends who are creative, who are minorities, who are queer, who are people of color, who just find it difficult to break the ice and become one of those influencers, or become a food writer in one of the major publications. That like, it was just so hard. Or like building an account from scratch. I mean, I'm sure you know, like, that's so hard. So it's like, if we join forces together, I think that we can get our voices like heard together with each other's support. And if there's something that I can't do for you, I can find someone in my network that can help you. You know, I'm not the most amazing photographer, but I do have great photographer friends who can help shoot whatever it is you want to shoot. So like, my magazine is kind of like a blank canvas for everyone to be able to like show their passion, their creativity, their voice through the magazine. Because if you look through it, it's not like almost, the layouts are always so different too. So it's like, I really wanted to just be like a space for everyone in Miami. Like, if I like your idea, then I want to go for it. And I definitely want to try to cover things that aren't already covered. Like, for example, Babes has, I think, an article on like their story, like how they get started. Like, I don't need someone else to write another piece about how they get started. That's already been said. So like, what else can we do to like highlight them and show them off, you know?
Right.
And actually in my upcoming edition, I have someone who's writing a piece on Babes, but about their impact on butchery. And I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I want to hear like a different perspective, not just like, oh, how'd you get started? Or, you know, if that's already been said, why do we need to say it again?
Exactly.
So I just felt like there was something missing in Miami, and I'm hoping to like bridge that gap and encourage people to show their passion in different ways. Not everyone has to be an amazing writer. Like, I can edit with you and help, you know, mold that, or like, you don't have to be an amazing photographer. Like, we can try to like find something, or, you know, so just bridging the gap really in Miami food culture content.
I was about to say the ceviche is the next move.
Yeah, I'm like, she is calling my name. Actually, I'm so happy that you brought up Comedor Sur, because
okay, what do you have? Tell me.
Because that's another thing too. Like, I love the concept, like an alternative kind of like dinner party sort of thing, because it's like, it wasn't at a restaurant, right? It was like O'Kisley Ceramics.
I love that place, by the way.
Me too.
Hidden spot, hidden gem.
And I just love the vibe. Like, we all spoke, we all got to know each other. The food was so spectacular. Everyone, like, they brought their own stuff. Yeah, of course. They brought their own stuff, but everyone brought their own things. Like, I brought my mom's arroz con leche, did not bring enough. Didn't think it was gonna be that many people.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait till they do another one. I've been like peeking at that Instagram and be like, when is the next one?
Because they travel, right?
They travel, they're artists, like, so they're
cool.
very renowned, like, You know, big props to them that they can do that. And honestly, they created a safe space, just like Underbelly, for different kinds of creators who it's hard to network. Like, within this journey in Miami, I can tell you the many times I've been into these influencer events, and it's just not a welcoming space. I hate to say that, but it's just not. Like, if you're not fitting a certain mold, you're just not gonna get the same exposure. You're not gonna get the same opportunities that other creators that have a certain look do. And, you know, that's a hot take. That's the spicy takes.
I don't think it's a spicy take at all. I agree with you. I think people are starting to notice that.
Yes.
That time. Like the content's becoming very repetitious, and like that it is hard to break that sort of wall,
right?
If you don't fit that mold. And it's so frustrating because these influencers are getting paid a pretty penny to do their videos, and it's like, wait, but like if I want someone to create something that's just like that's actually genuine and that's interesting, like, but they don't have enough followers, that they're not gonna like
open the doors.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's why I appreciate that, like, Underbelly, there isn't a mold. Right. That's the point. The point is that there's space for everyone, and whatever creative way that they want to admire Miami food culture, as long as it's not, you know, something that's already been covered. And I don't really care for reviews either. Like, there's enough of that. So anything other than that, I'm happy to have on there.
And also expand on your passions, as food is one of them, and it also connects to everything. What do you see as one of the most important things that you feel the most passionate about right now, that you're like making it a priority?
Eating the ceviche.
Honestly, it's really good.
It's so good. You know, actually, funny enough, I will answer your question, but I had never had the ceviche. My friend's the one who recommended it to me. Okay. She's always talking about the ceviche.
And how do you feel? Like
it's incredible. It's so good. I love a mixed ceviche too. That it's not like one
type of thing. Yeah.
One type of thing. Yeah. I think it's like, I don't know what fish it is, but it's fish, shrimp, avocado. The chips are crunchy.
You know what? I have never had the avocado in a ceviche. Right? It's not as common, right?
I don't think so.
Right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm like, seconds.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I've only really had, I think, Peruvian ceviche.
Okay.
I don't know if like Mexican ceviche maybe typically has
maybe
avocado.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
We're gonna have to Google that. Yeah.
So good.
I'm like, wow. I'm like kind of shocked at how good it was. Like, I love when people give me good recommendations. You know, because it's like people to recommend to me. That never happens. They're like, no, you're the one who knows. You're the one who knows. But I love when people recommend things to me. And then when it's this good, I'm like, okay, I trust you. I trust you.
I guess you have to come back another time, and we have to collaborate again, and we have to bring that ceviche back.
Oh my god, it's so good. So my focus right now, aside from, you know, doing events and you know, releasing my own stuff, is I really want to start doing workshops where I teach people how to be better food writers, better food photographers, better food content creators, because I want to see more people like doing it. And maybe they are not doing it because they feel like they don't know how to do it, or they don't know where to start, or they don't even know what to write about. It's like, I'm a good writer, but I don't know what to write about. And it's like, there's so much beautiful like food writing out there that, one, is not accessible because, you know, New York Times and all of that has the paywall.
Oh wow.
Has a paywall. You only have like maybe 1 or 2 articles, and a lot of these places, like even Bon Appetit, has a paywall. Really? So it's like all these places that where we can get good modern food articles that aren't just reviews have a paywall, and that's not accessible.
Wow.
So that's not accessible for someone who's trying to learn how to become a better food writer.
Exactly.
Because people who take writing classes, I mean, they're not really talking about food too much. You know what I mean? Like that's not really something that they can like refer to too much. And while obviously like you have to pay to see my magazine, I want people to feel encouraged to learn how to become better writers and be able to contribute. So I would like to start doing things like that, like where I can teach people or show people like, this is like my favorite food writings, or like, for example, one piece that I read recently was talking. This is a wild story. I don't know if you're ready for this one.
Okay, I'm seated.
Oh my
I'm
God.
ready.
Okay, so maraschino cherries.
Mm.
Okay, so the person who like one of the first people who created maraschino cherries, so like one of the original OGs of the maraschino cherry people, I guess it was like during that time in like New Jersey or something like that, like very long time ago, where like the bees were like creating like red honey.
Oh wow.
And I guess they were like getting into like the cherries or something like that, or the syrup was like seeping maybe into the water, something like that.
Okay.
Where like the bees, their honey was red, and there was like a whole thing in the FDA that's like, don't consume this honey because we don't know if it's good or not, like if it's not normal. All the beekeepers were freaking out around the area.
Oh my God.
So later on they like basically like bust into his like company, his warehouse or factory or whatever, years later, and he like shuts himself into the bathroom, locks himself in there, kills himself.
Oh my God.
And they find in his basement like hundreds of weed plants, luxury cars. Like he was living this like double life, the maraschino cherry guy. And I'm like, this is food writing. This is food, like great food content. And that's what I want to see. I want to see like cool stories of things that you would have never known. Like maraschino cherries, like we have those on Sundays. Like we still see them all the time, and you would never think that like the person who like pretty much started it, or one of the OGs, had this huge story. This
double life.
Double life.
Wow.
So I'm like, I want to see more things about that, like Miami related. You know what I mean? Because Miami has a lot of dramatic, plot twists. So I'm like, there's got to be something lurking in there. So I just want to like encourage people to be like curious,
investigative.
Almost. Yeah, I feel like that's what I want to start encouraging people, but also just like creating cool content on Miami. So if I can like teach people how to do that for like a small fee, then I feel like the payout will be so great long term,
right?
To see like more of that sort of food content, because I am seeing a lot of like, recently I just heard that a couple of writers from like Miami New Times, food writers from Miami New Times that no longer work there, and like certain food podcasts Miami related are no longer existing. Like restaurants are shutting down left and right. I just heard Union Beer just closed down.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know Hybrid Blues is closing down as well.
Oh no. That's why I'm like, we need to preserve Miami while we got it, because otherwise we're gonna turn into little New York.
Because what's happening is like a lot of people can't afford Miami. Us as locals, like I could really say that it's becoming really, really expensive as we have more people out of town moving in, and it's just I think that's just like the effect of like all these people moving in. It's gonna push out like that unique food culture that Miami has, because people can't afford it. And the rent, the price to pay the food, the price to pay people. Mm-hmm. You know, it becomes impossible, and I could definitely see that. That's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of getting harder to like, also, I guess, locate which food is authentic.
Oh yeah, big time.
You know what I mean? Because it's like they're coming with this like Miami vibe, and you're like, oh, there's palm trees, they're playing, reggaeton. Like, this is clearly a Miami restaurant, but it's like, is it?
Is it really?
Or is it run by people from New York or from wherever else? So that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna be coming to Miami and like making all these changes, like it is gonna get harder and harder to decipher like what's authentically Miami or not.
Right. Yeah, it makes you think. It makes you be like, I definitely agree. These workshops, who just really need that push. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To really just get into that scene. From your magazine itself, like you have opportunities for everyone to get like an ad on there for their business. So that really opens up those doors, like you mentioned earlier. The other thing, community. So community is like a really big thing that I've noticed a theme on both of your pages, how you've helped the community with the community fridges. A lot of people don't know what that is. And I think that's like a good topic to like, go in deep. Mm-hmm. And you could talk about like, what is a community fridge?
Love that question. Mm-hmm. I love this topic.
Yes.
So thank you for bringing it up. Let me just swallow my quesadilla.
It's so good. I was like, ooh. I was like,
I'm like, how can I start this? So, when people think of Miami, they think luxury, you know what I mean? You see the fancy cars, you see all this like lavish food, you see Papi Steak putting like gold on the steaks. You don't really think that Miami can have food deserts. And a food desert, before I get into community fridges, a food desert is basically an area in which fresh food is not accessible, meaning like there's only like bodegas that are nearby,
right,
or there's no like grocery store that is walking distance or affordable. So when those three things happen, there is a organization here in Miami called Buddy System MIA, and they run something called Miami Community Fridges, which is basically a public fridge located in these areas that are food deserts. So they're just open fridges. Anyone can like donate. There is a specific list of things that are, you know, allowed in the donations. So basically anyone from the community can go and get however much they need. Like there's no one there guarding it. Although there are certain community fridges that are like indoor, but even then like there's no like limit of how much you can take.
Of course.
Or how much you can give. So that was something that I was very passionate about, because if I'm talking about food culture, I can't deny that part of food culture is also that there are people that are hungry in my city that don't have access to fresh food. So I always, when I was doing Underbelly, it was always in my mind that I need to involve giving back to those fridges in whatever shape or form. So in most of my events, I try to have a food drive with some sort of incentive, because people like incentives. So for example, I had one event that I did with Witches of Miami where at Mama Tried, if you bring a donation, you get a Jello shot. Which is not anything crazy. It's just a Jello shot. But people were like, oh, Jello shot? Let me look through my pantry and see what I have. You know, I have a can of beans there that I haven't opened, and it's still fresh, you know, like, let me go take it over there. I have a lot of friends, too, who work in local schools, and local schools, you know, they have a lot of food waste. So they come, and they're, like, with the little snacks, and I'm like, this is perfect, because, like, it's milk, it's, like, fruits, it's, you know, canned stuff. A lot of the times, they're bare. The fridges are empty.
Wow.
I would say, like, 90% of the time when I go,
wow,
they're empty. And when I go, sometimes I don't even have the chance to, like, because I like to do like a before and after picture. Yeah. I don't have a chance to do an after picture because they're like people from the community will come and start gathering and start taking. Right. But it's so sweet because they're helping me put things away, and then like also seeing like what I'm bringing, you know, and I'm like, I would do the same thing. Like, yeah, I'll help you, but I'm gonna see what I have, what good things. What's you're the bringing. Good stuff? Yeah. But they're also very like mindful of like, I'm gonna not take everything because I want someone else to do it, or like, some people are like can't actually like maybe leave their homes or like leave their spot for whatever reason, so they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take it to this person or like disperse it in their like building or whatever. So it's been really nice. I have so far, I think I've filled maybe 10 to 12 or more. No, it must have been more. I think like about like, I don't think it's been like 20, but around like 20 fridges we've filled.
That's amazing.
So it's been really nice. I've had friends like volunteer to help me, and they're like, this feels so nice. Like I never get to do things like this. Yeah. Like people don't know how to like volunteer, and it's like literally just go to I've gone to the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has name brand stuff. I've gotten a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, wow, milk, juice, eggs, like
the basics.
The basics, yeah, like things that you can make with a lot of things. But one thing though, when it comes to canned goods, some homeless people or some just people in general don't have can openers.
Gotcha.
So it's like, in theory, you're like, oh, okay, canned food is great, preserves really open. I'm like, yeah, but how do they open it? Right. So be on the lookout for like, there's some canned foods that have like the pop-up lids. So I would prioritize those, because
like the soup ones.
Exactly, like the little tab. I'm like, look out for those. Like honestly, like anything is great, but like just a little thing to like keep in mind, like sometimes they don't have
to make it easier,
can openers, you know? Yeah, exactly. And I'll ask them too, like, what do you like?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to bring for next time? They're like fruits. They love like ramen noodles.
Okay.
You know, peanut butter is like a hot one there. You know, like the fruits that are like in the little syrup.
Oh yeah. Like the ones that you peel. It has the plastic.
Great.
Honestly, that's so easy to get.
Yeah. So they really like that. Milk, eggs. You know, like those sort of things.
I know that you have an upcoming event with Sojo's Dojo, which I saw it on your Instagram fresh off the press.
Literally.
And so you're also doing a community fridge event with the Sojo's Dojo. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
They're so kind enough to like give 10% off your tab with a donation with just 2 items. You just have to bring 2 things.
No
and they'll give you 10% off your tab. Yeah.
They also give you a discount if you drive there, if you go there with an Uber or Lyft. That's also very important to know, just in case. So I'll as you enjoy that quesadilla, I'll talk a little. So I was so thankful because I was like starting out with my page, and I was in like a big number, you know. And that's what I love about like the community that you have built. Like you've opened up these doors, and that inspires people to do so, because the owners of Sojo's Dojo, they didn't mind that I didn't have a lot of followers. They still let me interview them. So big props to them. Shout out to them, because they have such an amazing spot. It really is enriching to the Bird Roads Arts District, you know. Not a lot of people know, you know, you might just be going to Wynwood all the time. But the Bird Road Art District, you could just hop around there. It's really close by. Free parking, like...
Nah, that's unheard of.
Like, you start out at Lincoln's Beard, for real. You start out at Lincoln's Beard, you go to Unseen Creatures, and then you hop over to Sojo's Dojo, and you have a night that's not breaking the bank. It's not insane, and it's like free parking. Or if you want to Uber there, a lot of the places like them offer the free, and what is it, free? It's like a discounted off your bill. Yeah. So
I love that about them. And I love people that, like, you know, even when I was starting out too, like, I didn't have that many followers, and like people like Shojo's that were kind enough to like be like, yeah, let me, like, not like push us away because we don't have like 10,000 followers, you know? Like, they're not like, oh no, this is a waste of our time, like nobody's gonna see it. It's like, no, like, they're supporting the community and we're supporting them. And it's just grown, like, as they've grown, we've grown too, you know? And the same with Babes, that like they were one of the first people who bought an ad for the magazine.
Okay.
Like, one of the first ones. They're like, yeah, I want to buy it. That wasn't like a friend of mine, you know what I mean? Because like, my friends bought ads, but someone who I don't know, don't have a relationship with, they're like, yeah, I see the potential, like, let me buy something for that. And you know what, that's so nice. So like, I want to keep empowering, like, more of that, like, showcasing more businesses that are like that. Let me
look at this, because one thing is to zoom in on Instagram, and another thing is to see it in person. Yes, so within Sojo's Come, which is Rashad's business, like, you know, he does a lot of, like, cooking at home. He cooks there. He also cooks at pop-ups. So there's a coupon for that. I mean, I love Grace. Her cakes are amazing. We also have here, I mean, literally all these places. I know you're a big fan of Tam Tam.
Huge fan. And they have a lot of recognition already. So it's, like, so nice that they're willing to, like, give back to the community with some wings that are so good.
Okay, yeah.
Really good wings. Have you been there?
I haven't yet, but I'm down to go.
Well, you got your coupon there.
I got my coupon. And I know White Rose, that's where you had your first release,
First
right?
event.
Yes, I was there. I remember. I was like, that was so fun. Yeah, no, like this. So for those who feel nostalgic, where can you get one of these in person?
You can get them at White Rose.
Okay.
You can get them at Shojo's.
Okay.
There's a pop-up that pops up at Shojo's all the time called Hungry Yokai, but they pop up other places too.
Okay.
You can get them with them. And at any of my events, so like at the event that I'll have at Shojo's, I'll have them there for $5. And they're also included in every shirt that I sell, since I just released a t-shirt.
Oh, nice. And how much is the t-shirt?
$25.
Okay. I love the design. It's like brown and the letters are gold, right?
Yeah. I was going for like the yolk. I don't know. I have like a thing with eggs.
Okay.
My branding is all like egg, because I feel like eggs are one of those ingredients that like every culture shares.
Yes.
So I was like, this is such a perfect representation of underbelly and Miami. I love an egg. It's like my rice and egg is like one of my favorite dishes.
Honestly,
ever.
like so like just straight to the point.
Straight to the point. And Cuban people call it comida de puta.
I love how I coughed and laughed at the same time. So why is that?
Well, comida de puta is because Cubans are so raunchy. So it's because putas, you know, they don't hang around a lot. They're like to do their thing and go out of the way. But like sometimes after, they might want to feed their man or like whatever the case may be, he wants to eat. It's something that's fast, something that doesn't require a lot of time, and something that will fill you up.
Okay.
So that's why it's called comida de puta, because it's like fast. It's like, you know, even, well, the way that they've explained it to me is that even a puta can do it, but putas can do anything. So it's like,
honestly,
yeah, like, you know, they can do this, they can do whatever. So, but yeah, that's why they call it comida de puta. But I like to add furikake seasoning on it.
Ooh.
Have you had that? It's like it's furikake seasoning is like. They call it like the Japanese everything bagel seasoning. Oh, really? Because it's something that's so good on a lot of things. So it's like seaweed, sesame seed, and I think it has like sugar and like a little bit of salt.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
It's called the rice seasoning, and they come in a variety of flavors. You can get them at like any Asian store. You can even get it on Amazon. I'll send you the link after.
Okay.
But it's one of those things that like I put it on my rice with egg, and it like it makes it kind of taste like sushi a little bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really
that sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like even, and I'll just keep talking about Sojo's Dojo because honestly it's like a hub. It's literally like they connect you to so many people because of their pop-ups. I mean, not that Sojo's is the only one that does pop-ups. Like you have many other breweries and places like them that do that, but within them they have such unique pop-ups. Like you have, I think it's mana bread. I don't know if you've gotten the chance to try it. It's like the Japanese bread, like that has like meat inside and the sandos and delicious. That's all I have to say. So you see, you get exposed to a lot of that culture that Miami, you know, is really missing a lot of the Asian scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's just, it needs a little more, you know? It needs a little more love in that.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have like a Chinatown.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't really get a lot of like Asian immigrants coming into Miami compared to like Jewish immigrants or like Latin immigrants.
Correct.
So, I mean, it makes sense. But I do notice, I don't know, maybe you've seen this, like a resurgence in Korean culture specifically.
Yeah.
Korean culture in Miami has been popping up. There's been like Miami K-pop nights at Mama Tried. I've seen a bunch of like Korean corn dog pop-ups. Even the fair. I went to the fair.
I was surprised that they had that at the fair.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
how was that? You gotta tell me.
Incredible. Fair this year, which I've been going to the fair since I was a little kid. They had Korean fries and Korean corn dog. So the Korean fries were fries, like a shredded beef, like Korean barbecue beef. Kimchi.
Oh, really? Kimchi too?
Kimchi,
wow.
Kewpie mayo, and sriracha. That was the best thing I had at the fair. And the Korean corn dog, I don't know if you can believe this or not, but I had never had a Korean corn dog before.
Really?
I'm such a corn dog girly. I love a corn dog. And it was like segment of like hot dog while you're scooping there.
Actually, I was like, too. Please do. I have it here. You can have that last avocado.
Oh, yummy. So it was segments of like hot dog mozzarella stick.
Okay.
And then the corn dog batter, French fries, and then ketchup, mustard, sweet chili sauce, and sriracha.
Okay.
So I was like, damn, it feels kind of carb heavy. Like, you know, me assuming that it's going to be like kind of carb heavy. Okay. But no, it was like the corn dog was, you know, the batter's like kind of soft. So the French fries added such a nice crunchy texture. Oh. And it was nice that like one bite would be hot dog and then the next bite would be mozzarella stick. Like mozzarella. And I was like, this is so good. And like the sauces were so good, like the sweet and spicy. Like I was like, I could eat this whole thing, but I'm not because I wanted to do like a whole like everything I ate at the fair. So I wanted to eat other things. But my favorite foods at the fair ended up being the Korean food.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really interesting. So I think, yeah, like Korean culture is definitely like booming here. There's even like a Korean club at FIU.
Really? Okay.
And yeah, and I think you just need to know where to look.
Look.
You know, there's some great dim sum spots in Miami as well that are fun. And if you go a little bit more up north, there's a bunch of like great places. iFresh is good. Dumpling King is good. So it's just like, I guess, like a little bit more spread out.
Right.
Plus Tam Tam
right
is one of my favorite Asian restaurants in Miami. Like,
wow.
I can't get enough of
so
that
you're giving
place.
it that stamp for yourself, like that's the spot for me.
For me, Tam Tam is definitely up there. It's just like such a nice vibe, which I think is the vibe that you like at Shoujo's as well. Not the fact that it's an Asian vibe, but the fact that it's like feels like someone's house.
Someone's house, yes.
You know what I mean? It's not stuffy, it's not so loud, it's not a club restaurant, you know, like it's a place where I can go and everyone's so hospitable. The food is accessible, like, you know, it's not like a crazy expensive price. Right. I mean, and it's like consistent. And Tam Tam does pop-ups too.
Oh wow. Okay.
Everyone's on their pop-up tip. Yeah, they do Isabel's, which is a vegan pop-up, and they do for Tessie's, I think it's called, and it's a pizza pop-up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's like, you know, and it's right in front of the courthouse, right in downtown, and like walking distance to like Over Under.
Oh wow.
Tried. So it's like a cool.
I feel like that downtown scene is like really picking up.
Yeah, I think so too. I like downtown. I just wish they would finish building it already.
Yeah, I mean, you could also just take the Metro Rail. If it would open just a little later, you could just Metro Rail back.
That's the problem. I'm like, I mean, the Uber back isn't that bad, but
right.
And I won't reveal what parking garage I like to go to that is super cheap in that area. I'll reveal off camera. But,
off camera,
because otherwise I won't find parking there anymore. But Tam Tam is super central, so it's like nice. So like after dinner, you can go.
Oh wow!
To, like some of the bars nearby. There's like Miami Sound Bar. Everything else is like walking distance from there.
Okay,
that's nice. Nice little night, just like Shoujo's. Again, it's like Miami's not like a walkable city, so like when you can go to a place like an area where it's like, oh wait, I can like, I don't have to be like stuck here. Like I can like go somewhere else, and like have a different kind of like vibe or whatever.
Right.
Like, the other day I went to Shoujo's and I went to Lincoln's like right after, so it was like so cute.
Literally, Lincoln's is like where they have the parking map. So if you've never been to the Bird Roads Arts District, go to Lincoln's Beard parking map. They already do it for you. They tell you this is the safe spots to park.
Shoujo's does it too.
Your thoughts of the future for Underbelly, yourself as a creative? Because I have an idea for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so wait, tell me your future.
Okay, I'll tell you my future. And then you tell me mine.
Okay. Ooh, okay, we're playing like... I don't have a ball, but that would have been...
The tarot cards.
The tarot cards. Okay.
So for the future, aside from the workshops, I would really like to expand, to be honest. Like, I would like to have a team.
Oh, wow.
And be at a place where I can, like, employ people to do certain things, like, part-time, full-time. Because right now, I do almost everything. Like,
oh, wow.
I write for the magazine. I do the layout design. I do some of the editing. I do the photography. I do the video, taking the video, editing it. You know what I mean? Marketing, social media.
Wow.
Do the shipping of everything. It's like, okay, this is just becoming a little bit too much. And like, the only reason I'm able to pump things out is from sheer like will and rabia.
Passion.
We'll call it passion. Yeah.
I like the rabia part.
Yeah. I'm like, there has to be like, this needs to be out there.
Right.
So it's like pure fury and passion. But I would like to have other people help. Like my sister, my younger sister, she's 10 years younger than me, and she's in college. She goes to FIU, and she calls herself like a nepo baby / intern, because I like bring her to all these little events, and like I have her help me a little bit. But like I want to pay people, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I don't want to take advantage of anyone. I want to be able to pay people like what they deserve, but I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any grants. Like everything that I've been able to do was just from my own savings and from the money that I make from what I do. But aside from that, like, people who give sponsorships and grants won't, like, take you seriously unless you've been doing something for a year. And I'm about to reach a year. So that's why I'm like, all right, been doing this for a year. I'm going to take a little break after my year just to like focus on those workshops.
Right.
And also focus on getting sponsorships and grants so that when I start up again, like I can start up with a team and I can start up at a different place, you know, because everyone has to start from somewhere.
Of course.
And I would like to get to a place where I'm like, you know, I want to be more professional. I want to be more profitable.
Right.
Because if I can do that, then I can keep spreading out and keep finding these sort of Miami stories or Miami art or Miami content and keep pumping it up at a more consistent place. Like I want to keep doing what I'm doing, but just more of it. And I would like for this to be my only job as well. Because I have to balance a lot of different jobs. Now I have my regular 9-to-5, which I love. I work remotely, which allows me to do this. But I would like for Underbelly to be the only thing that I do. I would like to have like an office that has like kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen like Bon Appetit videos before, but they have like a test kitchen. I would love to have a test kitchen where I can film things, you know? Like I would like to have like a space that's like, you know, I can do maybe events there. I can maybe do like content there and like have like a photo studio. Like have
a creative
like a
space.
Exactly. That's my goal. Wow. That's my goal. Like I want to keep doing that, but like just on a bigger scale. Okay. So that's my goals.
Wow.
What's your future for me?
Oh my goodness. Well, first, I want to say like it's so beautiful to hear your goals and like your aspirations. Like it really is like I really hope you reach that, you know, and to see you like many years down the line and be like, look what I was able to do. Mm-hmm. Look at this creative space that not only just it was able to fulfill those dreams, but you open the doors to other people that maybe never would have had those opportunities if it wasn't for people like you that have opened those doors.
Mm-hmm. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a college dropout, first generation, like queer woman. Like there's a lot of things stacked against someone like me. Yeah. Even like figuring out how to do an LLC was hard. Because I'm like, there's so many different articles that like tell you different things. It's all super complicated, super long, like not accessible at all. It's not something they teach in school. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in your regular school, maybe in college they teach you that. I don't know because I dropped out. But but like just like if I can do it, then I can teach people how to do it in like an easier way. So there's not like so hard because it's a little intimidating to like look into an article and be like, damn, I have to read 20 pages of this and like what if I do it wrong? And then they like scare you with like, you know, you'll get charged this fee or like you have to do this, and you might like end up not doing it or overpaying or doing it wrong. Right. So it's like if I can teach people how to do it, then like I can open doors for more people. And even with the workshops, like people who like have that sort of passion, like but it's not accessible, then I can create an accessible space for them too. So it's just like creating more opportunities for people in the city. So that we can have like a fighting chance against people who are trying to gentrify the city and change the city, you know, because if the locals, you know, stand up for themselves and like have a voice and like that voice gets heard, and then I feel like there's a more fighting chance for these places that we love to stay. Because that's what happens in New York sometimes too. I don't know if you've seen those videos where it's like this person has been here for like 50, 60 years. Of course. Hasn't retired. Like, let's, you know, go and support. And then you'll see them and it's like line out the door for like weeks, months. Like now they're able to retire. Like those sort of stories are so inspiring to me that I would love to be able to have that sort of impact for people as well. Like not like whether it gets to that point of like, you know, they've been in the industry for that long, or even people that are new that are struggling to like just get out there. Like the coffee omakase place I support, he mentioned that I was one of the first people to try his coffee omakase, and because of the content that we were able to do, he was able to get a lot more opportunities from that, just from the content. Like it was me and 3 other content creators, no one big either. We just did some interesting little content. We all had our different perspectives. We planned how we were gonna do it. And now he has sponsorships. Now he's at like Luca Winewood. Like he's doing more things. He's able to charge more. So it's like, that's nice. Like I want to be able to save businesses, but also like uplift them like as they're starting.
Exactly. It definitely like this definitely ties into like the future that I see for you. You know, like definitely having some sort of like festival would be cool.
Like a food festival?
Like a food festival.
I would love that.
With like the locals, like the real spots, you know, and it just like just to make it a fun experience for people that never get that chance to. So there's an idea, you know.
I'm like, whoa, I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you just have to find like a place where you can just have an open field, and hopefully it doesn't rain, because you know how Miami is.
That's a good point.
Or even like some partnership with like FIU, because go Panthers. Like I feel like if the ties within the community in that sense could help, because I know your sister like did that event with FIU, right? And I was like, dang, I didn't get to go, but I was like, wasn't that so cool? Like,
it was so sweet. She's
yeah,
so cool.
And she got the queens that are local, and I was like, oh my god,
she got the best queens from our house. And
oh my gosh,
I love our house.
Yes.
I love the queens there. So it was such a cute event, like seeing everyone like come together, all the queers,
nice,
having fun, all the youth,
all the youth,
queer art.
Yes,
it was so beautiful.
The most important thing is to thank you so much for your time and to drive all this way south to my house. I'm super thankful that, you know, not only did you come to enjoy a meal, but talk about, you know, like the whole world that is your page, and also Underbelly's page, to people that maybe haven't gotten to see it yet, and to see that future blossom for you. Like, that's so exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, like, look back at things like this and be like, see like how far I've come, you know, later on in the future, and how far you've come too.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to continue working with creatives like yourself, who open the doors to many people with many different kind of opportunities. And different fun things to do, because Miami is not just, you know, that Vice, you know, that Will Smith aesthetic, that you know, so it's true. Not just clubs. No, it has like this really rich culture that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people just, you know, it's just, there's a lot to it. A lot of fun people, and us locals, you know, we really gotta stick together. You know, we gotta stick together, because we're gonna, like you said, we really gotta stand and hold our ground, because as we get more people coming in that have so much money, they'll want to shape Miami to this whole different thing, and we will lose like rich places like the food we're having today, and many more. And so like even this, like I was like, oh my, like even this, like I was like, oh my gosh, like people wouldn't like the ones that are not locals don't understand. Like, this is like the moment. Like, this is like a cultural reset. Because like you had to be there. You had to be there growing up in Miami. Like, this was like the spot, and it would have the local spots on there too. Like, you knew. So, and this actually is an excellent way to promote other businesses in Miami that could reach out to you and be like, hey, I grew up on that. Like, can I get my business on there? And then that's an opportunity for you to keep growing and to help them as well as help yourself. And, you know, it's mutual. So I'm very excited to use it. I think I want to maybe get myself another one, because I want to keep it.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe you can sell it in the future for
I know, the first edition. That's the first edition, you know?
That's so funny.
And so this is like, I've been wanting to do this whole podcast thing, because the whole point is to bring somebody with their expertise, their background, their whole self, you know, just telling them about yourself, because that's what I want my page to do, to cover these different parts of Miami, and then to keep going in depth, and to see you maybe later on, and you tell me, how did it go? Like, what did you learn? How was it? You know? And so I think we're going to enjoy the rest of this food, because that ceviche is still calling my name.
Oh my God, it's so good.
But thank you so much for, again, coming down all the way to Color Bay. And you know, like I like you said, like you always put your time into this, so I want to make sure to honor your time.
Thank you.
And very thankful. So
I'm so thankful for all this food. This is the first podcast that I do.
Okay.
And you've set a very high standard, because like if it doesn't look like this, I don't know if I'm gonna want to do it.
Like we got the microphones at first, you know?
Exactly. You gotta start somewhere. That's the thing. Like people like want to get to that point like immediately, and it's like no, like invest in what you need to invest, and like just be consistent, and you'll get there.
Yes, sure. You have a lot of like great advice for those starting out, and the best for yourself.
You know, that's what I gotta keep telling myself. Otherwise, I'm gonna go crazy. Yeah. You know, like patience is a virtue, as they say. So yeah. And the way that I am is like, if I'm on top, I want everyone to be on top with me. I don't want to be like looking down at everyone that's been with me. So like, you know, I'm very about like networking and community. So like, you know, having underbelly and doing things like this is so important to me, because I can have these sort of conversations, but we're also helping each other mutually. You know what I mean? So I think that's really nice. And like sharing a delicious meal, like literally what more can I ask for? So I really thank you for inviting me over here.